So, I want to talk about one of my favorite tailors of all time, Edward Sexton, because I feel like sometimes when we have fashion discourse, people underestimate how vast tailoring is. In 1969, the guy that you can see here, Tommy Nutter, and Edward Sexton opened a store called Nutters of Saville Row. They were the perfect partnership because Edward Sexton was more the master cutter, and Tommy Nutter was the person that brought all the flair and the flamboyance and was a perfect salesperson. And I literally cannot stress to you how important and influential this store was. This was in the 1960s when we had just come off the swinging 60s. We had the Beatles rising. We had the likes of Mary Quant with her miniskirt. We had the likes of Bibba, who had her amazing bold print, and everyone with their Art Deco inspired stores. And of course, old school stuffy Savile Row was very slow to adapt to this, so Nutter was the store that actually catered to the new rock stars, the people that wanted to look a bit more cool and a bit more edgy. And they were literally dressing all the rock stars of that time. I mean, they were dressing people like Elton John, they were dressing all the members of the Beatles, also dressing people like Mick and Bianca Jagger. And what I love about their house signatures the most is they have these kind of comically big lapels. They also have rope shoulders and they usually have a cinched waist. So it kind of gives an appearance of an hourglass shape and an hourglass figure when you wear their suits. Fun fact, because they dressed the Beatles, obviously they had a good relationship with Paul McCartney. So when Stella McCartney was at Central St. Martin's, she did an apprenticeship with Edward Sexton. And he was helping her with little design elements here and there, all the way from her graduate collection to her first collection in Paris for Chloe. I do find it quite funny how everyone always talks about how Naomi Campbell and Kate Moss were, walking at her graduate show, but no one talks about the clothing. What about the clothes? Because you can already see here that Stella McCartney was kind of refining her tailoring. You can kind of see these Edward Sexton, you can see the massive lapels, you can look at the shoulders, the cinched waist. Unfortunately, Edward Sexton passed away a few years ago, but it's been amazing to see his legacy live on. The person you're looking at right now is Joe Morgan. He's the tailor at Chittleborough and Morgan, and he worked with Tommy Nutter and Edward Sexton. So when you look at his suits, you can kind of see a lot of the same elements, the cinched waist, the rope shoulders, the big lapels. Then you have another one of my favorite tailors, Michael Browne. He actually trained under Roy Chittleborough and Joe Morgan. So it's kind of like a spiral in a way. They kind of have been training under each other and that legacy keeps going. I will say Michael Browne has gone a slightly different direction. So his stuff is a bit more sculptural. The cinched waist are even more apparent. So I like his aesthetic a lot. Really, really sculptural. I love it. So yeah, let me know who your favorite tailors are and we can turn the comment section into a resource for good tailors.